Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our channel, Universal Businesses Limited, Soulism and Spiritualism channel. Today, we're going to discuss in more detail about Soulism and Spiritualism. We're going to discuss, we discussed last time, freedom and liberty and human nature, and how different areas of the globe affect the spirituality, the soulism and spiritualism of an individual. Today we're going to discuss human nature in a greater context. Human nature is always going to be a bit of a stumbling block because human nature always tries to intervene and intersect and interlope the progression of a soul and spirit. And human nature is always at odds with the spirit and the soul and spirit. And human nature is a mechanism by which people try to project their natural humanity, and it is a chronological sequence of behavioral codes that human nature possesses in its full context and depth. And when we talk about human nature and soul and spirit, human nature is drastically changed over time on Earth. Human nature basically is at birth an innocence, and at death is a guilt. So from innocence, the soul travels towards guilt, and then as it passes the transition of the passing away of the bodily composition, the body, the soul and spirit goes back to its innocent status when it reaches the realm of the realms of infinite eternal light and the kingdom of heaven, and where all the gods and where all the deities and gods reside. Presently, there is a human nature, human naturality that is affected by the elements of the economic, social, and political environments of a nation on this earth, this planet, and basically, human nature is usually a stumbling block. I mentioned it's a stumbling block, but it can be a positive if the human nature goes through purification and purity conditioning and reconditioning, and that can only be done through giving up, sacrificing certain aspects of their life characteristics. Those characteristics could possibly be addictions or desires or anything of a possibly a sinful structure. So human nature is a stumbling block, but it can have some positive aspects to it. And when two people connect with their human nature, there could be a negative or a positive reaction from the connection, and that is as a result of the human nature affecting the soul and spirit structure. And now we can see that the soul and spirit in a more rational, logical and rational manner, but we can't equate it to a scientific basis because science is basically a man-made concept. We are talking about the heavens and heaven created the soul and spirit, which is a logical, rational system in operation, and it continues to exist to eternity and eternalness, even if it goes to the realms of heaven or even if it goes to the realms of hell. The soul is constantly in existence, and it never dies, and the spirit, soul and spirit never dies, and there is no fatality. And also I mentioned that human nature, in order for the progression of the soul and spirit, it must continue regardless of what happens on earth, whether it's negative or positive. The soul must continue on its journey. The soul and spirit must continue on its journey to wherever its destination may be. And that's why, let's say for instance, the main God in heaven, who's the creator, and all the other sub-level gods, which is myself and others, sub-level gods are under the main God, and the main God is the king of heaven. And if we look at it as his example, regardless of the fact whatever man does on earth, all the travesties on earth committed by man, the king in heaven, God, continues to give children and continues to give life and continues to carry on regardless of the fact whether there's death and destruction and poverty and so forth. And that's why you should not worry in your lives about wars, famines, and you should not worry in your life about famines, wars, destruction. You should not worry about the poor. All of these things can be left behind in order for the soul and spirit to continue its journey. And there is no sadness. Sadness is a fallacy of mankind, and there is only happiness and joy, because that is the prominent component of heaven. And there is no such thing as poverty, because there is no money in heaven, and there's no such thing as cash. So therefore, don't worry about the sad people and the poor people. Just carry on your existence, because there is no such thing as what man has created on this artificial planet of his, who is a complete and utter ignoramus. So let's just say that man is the enemy on this earth. The earth is not the enemy of man. Earth was created by the heavenly structures, and remember, earth is just a minuscule dot in the vast universe and all the pluralistic universes of infinite structure and infinitism, and all the infinitism of heaven. Where is this horrible place that they call earth? Nowhere, because it is absolutely insignificant. And therefore man's abode is also insignificant, and man's status in terms of the full structure of infinitism is absolutely zero and zilch. And that's why do not worry about man. He is already a fallen system. His artificial world will soon collapse, and his artificial planet will soon collapse, and he is just an enemy on this earth, and he has betrayed heaven and betrayed the King of God, the natural creator. And therefore, let's just say man is the enemy, and he is the ultimate enemy on this earth, and therefore we should not pay any attention to all of their governments and their laws and all of their restrictions and all of their barriers and so forth. This is utter nonsense, and he will continue to be utter nonsense. And the world is not a pleasant place to live. It is an unpleasant place. It is an unpleasant realm, man goes on holiday and goes to different destinations, but he still sees the same thing over and over again: the destitute and the poor and the hungry and so forth. It is just a nonsense planet, and your lives are also nonsensical, because man has created your life for you, and you should rebel against it. And therefore, governments should not exist, and therefore the only existence should be a pluralistic natural environment full of vegetation and trees, and man's artificial cities and his buildings should be all destroyed. So let's just say this. Thank you for this. Is the religion that I've created: infinitism religion, soulism and spiritualism religion, and you're welcome to follow it. I would be grateful if you subscribe to my channel, and I would be grateful if you make a small donation or any amount of donation to progress my religion into the future. And uh, and thank you for visiting my channel, our channel, Universal Businesses Limited Soulism and Spiritualism channel. We are we are contrary to the natural the current religions. We are in opposition to all religions, and we are the opposition to all. You must remember that religions are only a man-made construction. Even Christianity was created by a man, by men, and Islam was created by man, men, and therefore we should not believe this absolute absurdity of religions on earth, and you should only believe in your soul and spirit and infinitism and heaven and the creator God and all the sub-level gods, and you can become a god like me. Thank you for visiting my channel, and I wish you all the best of luck. And remember I will see you in the next broadcast lecture and sermon. And remember, stay spiritually focused, stay spiritually pure. Thank you.